thank you all for attending our virtual coffee session. We've been doing these the last couple of months here at Osprey Wilds as a way to stay connected with our constituents in a safe way and be able to share updates with what's going on at the organization. Like everyone else in the world, COVID-19 has greatly impacted what we're doing and what we can offer. And I know, I'm sure all of you are struggling with the various challenges COVID-19 presents. So I hope all of you are safe and well with your families today, and we appreciate you joining us. My name is Brian Wood. I'm Executive Director at Osprey Wilds Environmental Learning Center. Today we have Jim DeYoung, our Development Director, as well as a couple of current Legacy Society members that we'll get to hear from later, Don James and Deb Curran. I want to give a little bit of background on the Legacy Society, and then we'll turn it over to Jim, who will share a little bit more about our plan giving options. I'm going to share my screen and show you on our website. We do have information about giving. So if you go to our homepage and you click on the support link, there are a lot of different ways that you can support Osprey Wilds. We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and we definitely rely on charitable giving to help us, especially now when we can't host programs that generate the bulk of our revenue. So there are ways that you can just give right now online. You can become a sustainer, you can volunteer, but today what we wanted to talk about was our Legacy Society and plan giving. And before I get any further into it, I wanted to recognize a few other individuals that are on the call as participants that you might not be seeing, but that have already made the decision to include Osprey Wilds in their plan giving. And I wanted to recognize Richard and Joan Newmark and Lois Norgard for their very generous gifts and making Osprey Wilds part of their giving. Our Legacy Society continues to grow, and as you scroll down, you'll see various individuals and couples who have made the decision to include our organization in their plan giving. Plan giving really is a really profound act of generosity, because you don't inherently see the benefits of the decision you're making. It's coming on after your time, but you're making that decision to leave a legacy of generosity to a place that's important to you and to make the world a better place. And it's just a really generous thing that people can do. And we're so grateful for the individuals that have chosen to do so already. I wanted to share a quote that really encapsulates plan giving, and some of you may have heard it. It's a society grows great when individuals plant trees in whose shade they know they shall never sit. And that's the whole idea with Legacy Society, is that you're making a gift, you're making a commitment to support an organization and the work that they do past what you'll be able to enjoy yourself, but that you're making that gift for future generations. And that's what leaving legacy is all about. And Osprey Wilds, formerly the Audubon Center, would not be in existence without plan giving. We owe our entire existence to Marguerite Schweitzer, who in her will donated her land and all of the buildings to make this organization what it is. So what started out as one gift has turned into an organization that's now reached over 300,000 individuals over 50 years, and continues to provide environmental education experiences. Our campus has grown from the 535 acres that Marguerite Schweitzer bequeathed to now we own over 860 acres. And we were fortunate to receive another legacy gift of land a couple of years ago to the north, which is the site of all of our exciting farm developments that have been going on the last several months here. So planned giving is not only a really powerful and profound way to support us going forward, it is the very nature of why we exist as an organization, because of Marguerite Schweitzer's generosity. So as you consider becoming a member of the Legacy Society, you're joining a long list of distinguished individuals who have helped make this organization what it is. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to our development director, Jim, who's going to walk through what kind of options and opportunities there are for planned giving at Osprey Wilds.
Good morning, everyone. I'm happy to be with you this morning, and looking forward to hearing especially from our a couple of our Legacy Society members. The idea of legacy giving, planned giving can be a little daunting. There's a lot of information out there about it. We're going to keep it really simple this morning, in part because the simplest of gifts, the kind that Brian just talked about, bequests, are the most common and in a lot of respects the easiest thing to do. I'm going to share my screen with you as I walk through some of the options.
Okay, you should be good, Jim.
Okay. There we go. Everybody can see that, I hope. Brian just touched on some of the benefits of legacy giving, talking specifically about the enormous benefit that's been the cause of the existence of Osprey Wilds, Audubon Center before that. And Marguerite Schweitzer's gift is a great example of that first benefit, supporting a favorite cause beyond a donor's lifetime. Here 50 years after the establishment of the center and after Marguerite Schweitzer's passing, all of the wonderful things that have come about for Osprey Wilds and for environmental protection because of her vision and because of her gift. I suppose that's another example. She is another example of the second point there, the large and impactful gift that a donor can make from a legacy gift that most of us probably cannot make through regular income. Our annual budgets, our annual giving are going to, in most cases, pale next to the size of a gift that we might be able to make through a planned gift, such as a bequest or some of the other things we'll talk about. I'll just give you a little example. Actually, I'll come back to that example later. I'll try to tag that to this point as we come to the specific type of gift later on. Lots of different ways to make a legacy gift. So there are things like real estate gifts. The trap land, the recent trap land gift is a great example of that. And it's also beneficial in a number of ways, including in terms of the benefit to the causes that you want to support. But there can be income benefits, there can be estate planning benefits, there can be tax planning benefits that you may be able to take advantage of with different kinds of giving. Benefits for you, benefits for your heirs, and of course, benefits for the causes that you support. So those bequests, 70% are estimated that nationwide, 70% of legacy gifts are bequests, gifts made through a will or a living trust. They're easy to make, perhaps the easiest to make. They can be included in a new will, or if you already have a will, as I suspect many of our listeners here today do, a simple change to that will, a codicil, can be done sometimes without the cost of working with an attorney, or a relatively inexpensive change made with your estate planning attorney. Most folks will give a set dollar amount or a percentage of estate. My wife and I have gone with a child named Charity approach. We have 3 children, and we have a 4th child named Charity that it will be receiving 25% of whatever estate gifts we're able to make at our passing. But whatever that percentage of giving might be is one way that many folks will go. A wonderful thing for most of us about making a gift in our will is that it really costs us nothing other than the cost of working with an attorney to set up a will or a living trust. So no cost during your lifetime, and it can reduce your estate tax. So be beneficial to the charities and your heirs after you are gone. A beneficiary gift, actually, to my way of thinking, is perhaps even easier than a will. You're probably familiar with filling out beneficiary designation forms for your spouse or your heirs for your IRA, your 401k, your life insurance policy. It's a very simple thing then to make a charity the beneficiary or a secondary beneficiary of any financial account that you have. Many financial institutions today can give you the opportunity, do give you the opportunity to do that online, on an online form, or if you request a beneficiary designation form from them, they'll send you one, and you can fill that out and return that in solid form, in paper form. They're flexible. A beneficiary gift can name multiple beneficiaries. So if you want to give half of the remainder of an IRA, let's say, to your heirs and half to a charity, that can be done very easily. And you can change them. It's as simple as asking, going back to that online form or asking for a new form, and changing the beneficiaries for those sorts of gifts. There's a definite tax advantage in that proceeds go directly to charity. There's no probate either on beneficiary gifts in most cases. So you are able to very quickly affect your desired change or your desired gift with a beneficiary gift. So wills and beneficiary gifts are very simple ways to remember Osprey Wilds and other charities that you've supported during your lifetime. We get into a little more complicated territory with things like charitable gift annuities, charitable remainder trusts. From my perspective as a development director, and frankly, not a plan giving expert, this is both a difficult and an easy area of plan giving to talk about. Easy because there are some great resources out there that you can take advantage of at no cost to yourself to walk through not just things like charitable gift annuities, charitable remainder trusts, but what your specific estate situation is, what your retirement income needs are, what your desire for your heirs and for your long-term support of the causes that you care about. Have those conversations with someone like Maria Brook or Elizabeth McCrae or other gift planners at the St. Paul and Minneapolis Foundation. They can walk you through and make available to you charitable gift annuities, charitable remainder trusts, donor advice funds, all sorts of different plan giving tools that our small development office at the Audubon Center at Osprey Wilds are not going to, we do not have the ability to give you that level of expertise as well as management. So some of these things take ongoing management and reporting. So really encourage you to check out spmcf.org. Lots of information there for donors. We point you to them specifically because we are a member of the Minneapolis Foundation. They're really one organization grown out of two organizations in the past, but because of our connection with the Minneapolis Foundation, the St. Paul and Minneapolis Foundation now, I can put you into contact with their gift planners, and they can be a great asset to you in these times, probably distance meetings, but hopefully not too far in the future. They can sit down with you in your home or at their offices in St. Paul. And you can learn about tax deductions, income streams, how to provide for your heirs, how to support your favorite causes, how to use planned giving, a charitable gift annuity, for instance, for retirement income, how to use a charitable remainder trust to reduce a future tax burden. So all of those gifts that provide income and other benefits of planned giving can be explored through the help of folks at the Minneapolis and St. Paul and Minneapolis Foundation. Let me just go quickly to their screen and show you. There we have, there are 4 gift planners there. Mariah is the one who's worked most closely with us at the Osprey Wilds, and is somebody that I would start at least to put you into contact with if you were interested in having that sort of a conversation.
Jim, I believe you need to hit share again since you changed what you were viewing.
Oh, okay. New share. Do we now see our gift planners?
Yep.
Lisa, Mariah, as I said, has been the person that has worked most closely with us here at Osprey Wilds, and is the person that I would most likely connect you with, although others at the foundation could also be beneficial or available for you to work with. That is a segue that will take me into introducing our two Legacy Society members, who are going to talk a little bit about their gifts, their reasons for supporting Osprey Wilds with a legacy gift. And I believe, Don, you have actually taken advantage of this St. Paul and Minneapolis Foundation resource and had a sit-down, pre-COVID, sit-down with Mariah, if I'm remembering correctly. So Don, let's start with you. You can start with the resource, your conversation with Mariah, or start with a little bit about why you're a legacy member of Osprey Wilds.
Good. Am I on live? Can you hear me?
I sure can.
Okay. I did meet with Mariah over coffee before the virus hit, and she was very good to talk to. There's not only is no hard sell, there's no sell at all. She just tells you, here's what the options are, and I really learned a lot from her. And I would recommend everyone, sitting down with her by Zoom video or in person, whatever, learn a lot. And as I said, she's just a very pleasant person to talk to. So let me go from there to why I support the center. It goes all the way back to my childhood of going camping with my parents when they traveled, because we couldn't afford motels, so we slept out in state parks. And then summer camp, scouting, that type of thing, where we learned a lot about the outdoors. So that's where my love of the outdoors came about. And when I found out about Audubon Center, now called Osprey Wilds, that's really what we do, is introduce kids to the outside, outdoors. Particularly, we have a lot of inner city, minority kids, that type of thing, who don't have those kind of opportunities that I did as a middle class child. And it's really something. One time I was there when there's a creek that goes by the center, and the kids were out there in the creek with boots on, and they're scooping up little crustaceans or whatever's in there, and then they take them back and look under the microscope at them. And the kids were just so excited. It was just, I wish everyone could have seen that. It was wonderful. So that's what we do, and that's why I support the Osprey Wild Center. regular basis. And then I've also included in my will a substantial amount just as a straight bequest. And after talking to Mariah, I thought about should it be designated for something, but I think I left it flexible. I think like this, something can happen like this virus thing hitting that means, we need to be more flexible in what funds we have. So that's the way I did it. It's a straight bequest in my will. Jim, did I answer your question?
Jim, go ahead and unmute.
Yeah, I think you've covered it, Don.
Okay.
And Deb, can you share with us some of your experiences and reasons for giving to Osprey Wilds with the planned gift?
Yes, good morning, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes.
And
So I had a few computer glitches, as many of you who know me know that happens quite often. I know many of you on the call, and it's just good to know you're there, even though I can't see all of you. And I see in the chat that Kate said that she's interested to learn a little bit more about Osprey Wild. So I'll try to share my experiences and what I'm observing as a legacy member and a board member and address Kate's question. I have a cabin on the lake. I was introduced to the lake in 2005. Some friends were renting what is now our cabin, and I fell in love. I recognized as a farm girl from southern Minnesota, I love agriculture, and I recognized this particular area as the place in Minnesota where agriculture and the Great North Woods seem to come together in this just beautiful natural environment. And later, my husband and I were fortunate enough to buy the cabin, which our friends rented from the Trapp family. The Trapps and many farmers lived in this lake or lived around this lake, and still many descendants live on the lake. So I volunteered. I became a board member about 5 years ago, and I have really only grown to appreciate this particular environmental learning center more and more with each passing year. I first of all recognized the beauty of it, the unique habitat. There's so many different kinds of habitats I never knew of. Most particularly right now, I appreciate the staff. We had wonderful people for many years. Many of them had worked for almost 20 years. And although I felt devastated when some of those people opted to leave for whatever reason, usually it was just ready to retire, we now have the most wonderful staff of young, energetic, talented people, several with their master's degrees. These are not people who have just worked, and love the outdoors. These are the people who have studied the outdoors. They are passionate, and they're wonderful educators. And as a testament to that, I just got a letter from my granddaughter from Seattle yesterday in the mail, and she and my youngest granddaughter enjoyed the virtual camp that the staff gave last week. And so here they are in Seattle, learning about Minnesota and learning about things in their own backyard in Seattle. And I got a beautiful thank you letter. I intend to share it with all that were involved. And I just see the importance of this, now more so than ever. So a few years ago, my husband Mike and I were redoing our will, and I chose to set aside something in a trust. And it was very easy. Just at the time we were changing our will, we opted to do that. So I think this legacy society is more important than ever. I'm also head of the development committee at this time, and boy, it's tough. You know, we're really, we love to hold the live events, the bids for kids, our dinners at the lakes, but we are working very hard for people to know that we are still here, we're still viable, and picnics on the lake. We're just needing more now more than ever, as Don pointed out with COVID, to really build a wonderful, solid, strong foundation so that we can keep these wonderful things happening. Kate, if you have any specific questions about Osprey Wilds, I think any one of us would be happy to address them. I think many of you on the call do live on the lake. I'll say this too, pardon me. Over the weekend, we had some friends come up and we were out on our pontoon boat. And as I and so many people from the Twin Cities have seen when they come up, they are astounded at the beauty and the fact that almost 3/4 of that east shore of the lake is Osprey Wilds. It's untouched, and it is so because of Audubon and Osprey Wilds. So they were astounded at what they saw and how our environmental learning center continues to, we're still there with COVID, but they too were expressing that they hope that we can hang on, and it's just a unique gift for anybody that has an opportunity to participate in it in whatever way.
Thank you, Deb. Again, I'm probably muted.
You're good. You're good, Jim.
Okay. Thank you, Deb. Appreciate that. I mentioned as I was going through those slides earlier that I wanted to talk a little bit about one of the points regarding the fact that most of us are going to be able to make a larger gift through planned giving than through our annual giving. Our most recent gift received from planned giving was from a woman named Frances Duritza. And Frances was a longtime supporter of the Audubon Society organizations here in the cities, but she also left us a gift through a charitable gift annuity that she had with the Catholic Community Foundation. It was not a huge amount of money, but it was in her world and in her giving, her largest gift, and it was something that has cemented her support for Osprey Wilds forever. So I wanted to put that, give you an example of a legacy gift here at Osprey Wilds that was not a bequest. And again, an example of a case of being able to support Osprey Wilds while working with another organization, in her case, the Catholic Community Foundation. So thank you so much, Don and Deb, and I'm going to throw it back to Brian for some closing remarks. I'm going to look quickly at the chat and see if there are any specific questions. I don't see any specific questions about my presentation. So, but if anybody needs to or wants to get in touch with me, my email address, like most of us here at Osprey Wilds, is last name, DeYoung, D-E-Y-O-U-N-G, at ospreywilds.org. And I'd love to hear from you about any questions you might have about planned giving or supporting Osprey Wilds more generally. So with that, Brian, back to you.
Thanks, Jim. As some of you on the call may know, we did change our name January 1st. Some of you on the call that we might not be aware of, you might already be Legacy Society members and just have not made that public, which is perfectly fine. But we have gotten questions in the past of, with our name change, do you have to go back and redo your will? Our federal identification number, employer identification number, has not changed. So if that was in your will to begin with, then there's nothing you need to do. That number will follow us with our name, and your gift would be assured that it would end up here to support us. So I just wanted to make that mention because of the name change. And I also wanted to mention that the intent of our call today was just to highlight some opportunities for you to consider supporting us in a longer term fashion, in a gift that provides support and perpetuity for the organization, but that also isn't cutting out your heirs. Any gift that we receive from a donor, we always want it to be good for the donor. Otherwise, it's not good for the organization. So we're not asking you to leave out grandchildren or children or important causes, but as you are considering your future, to think about what kind of role Osprey Wilds has played for you and the importance, and if a certain percentage or fixed dollar amount might make sense for you and that you would like to do, we would love to see your support and would be extremely grateful for that. As Jim mentioned, he does have his contact info on our website, and we'll send out an email after this with my and Jim's contact info. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. We don't want it to be an intimidating process. It's pretty simple, as I think Don and Deb can attest to, and we really are grateful for your consideration in making and helping us build a legacy of environmental education for generations to come here. So with that, thank you all very much for joining us this morning. Hope you have a great day, and we look forward to staying in touch with you. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay.